Hello everybody, welcome back. In this video, we shall look at a very important programming construct in Scratch called broadcast. We will see how we can use broadcast, what are the different blocks that are involved, why we use it, and what it gets us. So why, how, and where, right? Let's get started uh, within with just understanding where the broadcast blocks are available, right? So I've gone to the familiar Scratch page. I'll make it a little bit bigger, right? Now so now broadcast blocks are available inside events, right? So I have, if you click on events here, right? So when I go to events, you notice there are three important blocks related to broadcast, which are broadcast message one, broadcast message one and wait, right? And oops. And the third one is when I receive message one, right? This has become a little too big. Okay, something like this. Yeah. So broadcast message one and wait, and when I receive message one, right? Now, these are the three blocks that are used for broadcasting. In the beginning, right? In almost all the use cases in the beginning, we shall almost never use the broadcast and wait, right? So I'll remove this from now from the picture, but we will focus on broadcast message one and when I receive message one, right? So these blocks are in the event section, and they are basically broadcast message one and when I receive message one, right? Now question is, what is broadcast, right? So broadcast is a method by which sprites and everything else in the program secretly talks to itself, right? So now what do I mean by secretly talks to each other, right? So what do I mean by that? These are messages that sprites and background pass to each other, right? So these are like really like messages that say a sprite 1 can give to a sprite 2. Why do I say secretly? That is because when this message is passed, when this message is sent, there is no dialogue, there's no display, there's no indication to the user that such a message has been given, right? So you can really think of this as sprites talking to each other in their own code language, right? So when I say sprites, it also includes background. So what is broadcast, right? Now, like I said, these are messages being passed between sprites, right? An analogy here is very helpful, right? So analogy here is that of a radio, right? So you notice when we go onto the car, we turn on our radio, right? And we can listen to music, or even at home we just turn on the radio and we can listen to music. Now how is that happening really, right? That is happening because there is a radio station somewhere in the town which is broadcasting the radio program, right? So which is sending it all to everybody, right? Whoever wants to listen to it can tune their radio to listen to a particular channel, right? So there may be multiple messages being sent, for example, multiple channels. Now you can tune to one of them and listen to it. So broadcast is exactly the same. In a program, you can have multiple broadcast messages being sent out. Whichever sprite wants to listen to it can tune to it, right? Now, how do you send out a broadcast message, right? So a sprite sends out a broadcast message using this block called broadcast, right? And broadcast, you notice it's written message one. You can call it, you can, you know, drop down this menu and give a new name to your message. So for example, message could be, let's say, start, right? So when I say broadcast start, in this case, the cat sprite will send out a message to all the other sprites called start, right? Now, like I said, this message will be sent discreetly, secretly. So you and I will not get an indication here that, oh, look, I'm sending a message sprite start, right? No, right? On the other hand, when I want, so everybody will hear the message start, right? But not everybody may want to react to it, right? It's like everybody is getting the radio program, but perhaps in your car you want to listen to some particular program, somebody else wants to listen to some other program, right? So what you have to do is, if you want your sprite to respond, for example, to the start message, right? So what you have to do is to say, when I receive message, right, when I receive message, and you notice, because I have made a start in this program, I will get a start here, right? So it says, when I receive start, do so and so, right? So basically, this is a, the way I explain people is that this is like a telephone, right? That somebody has to call out, somebody has to shout out that, look, I'm broadcasting this message. Everybody will hear it, right? Everybody in the program will hear it. But if you want some action to be taken, right, then you must tune into that program. You must pick up the receiver on the telephone at the other end, right? And you do so by saying, when I receive start, or say whatever message, then what do I do? Right? Now, it turns out broadcast is a very, very powerful feature, right? Let us look at an example so that it becomes a little bit more clear what we are trying to do here, right? So for this purpose, I'm going to remove my cat sprite, and I'm going to add two new sprites. Uh, let's say in this case, I'll add Giga, right? Giga is this particular sprite. Uh, say this Giga, and I'm going to add one more sprite called, let's say, Pico, right? So I'll add Giga and another sprite called Pico, right? Now I'll give you a challenge, right? Let's say maybe I'll make Giga a little bit bigger, right? So that I can focus on it, right? Uh, and also, let's say, to make this background a little bit more attractive, I can go and choose a backdrop. And in this case, I will just choose a backdrop called space. Again, this is not necessary, but it looks nice, right? So I chose a background space, and I've got Pico and Giga, right? Now let me tell you a problem statement here, right? I want, I want Pico and Giga both to take a random position when I click Giga, right? So notice, in the past we have seen when this sprite is clicked, right? So when I click Giga and I want Giga to go to a new position, that is not hard, right? In this case, I want to click Giga and Pico should go to a new position, right? So how can that happen, right? Let me just write in a little bit of code here, right? So that we can see what's going on. So as always, I shall start my code with when flag clicked, right? Something wrong with my screen resolution. Uh, okay, let's say maybe this, right? So when flag clicked, I will say, let's say I know I go and put the forever block, forever. In the control section, I say if touching mouse, this is something we have done before. So I go to operators and, right, let's say this, right? So if I say if, in the sensing, I go and say if touching mouse pointer, oh, sorry, if touching mouse pointer and mouse down, right? So if I say if touching mouse pointer and mouse down, right, which means basically means that if Giga is being clicked, right, I want Giga to go to a random position. So that part would have been simple. I could have just said, if this happens, go to say, go to random position. Random means anywhere in the stage, right? So again, something wrong with my uh, resolution today, right? When I do this, right, see what happens here, right? So when this program is running, when I click Giga, Giga goes to a new position, right? But now let's say, along with Giga, when I click Pico, I'm sorry, when I click Giga, I also want Pico to go to a new position, right? So how do I do that, right? So the way to do that would be to use a broadcast, right? So what I can do is I can tell Giga that, look, when touching mouse pointer and mouse down, which means basically when you are being clicked, please broadcast a message called perhaps take position, right? So what I'll do now is to go to the events, right? And I'll say broadcast, right? I'll create a broadcast message called broadcast message, new message, take positions, take position, right? So instead of putting this here, I will say, look, if touching mouse pointer and mouse down, broadcast, take position, right? So this is like at that particular event, Giga will Giga will send out a message to everybody, take position. Okay. Now remember, broadcast is never complete with just broadcast alone. I must also tell everybody what I should do when I receive this take position, right? So in case of Giga, so Giga will say, and Giga will also hear. So I will say, when I receive take position, say when I receive take position, right? Go to a random position. So this particular thing will still work as earlier. Whenever I click, for example, Giga is going to a new position, right? So that's because a broadcast message is being generated and only Giga is tuned to receive that broadcast message called take position, and it goes to a new position, which is a random position. Now let's say I go to Pico code and I tell Pico, look, Pico, at some point you will get a broadcast message called take position. Please stay tuned. Please keep your antennas up and alive. When you get that position message called take position, you also go to a random position. So what do I do? Let's say I say when flag clicked, then I say looks, I say perhaps show, and I go to events and I say when I receive take position. Now notice Pico is only receiving. Pico is like a radio in your car. It is just tuning to this particular message called take position, and all it has to do now is to say motion, go to, sorry, where is it, go to random position, right? So now look at this code very carefully. What is going on is that in the Giga I am saying forever, if touching mouse pointer and mouse down, broadcast a message, take position, right? So basically Giga sends out a message called take position. Now as I told you, it does it secretly, discreetly, so we do not see anything happening on the screen, right? However, both Giga and Pico are listening to this message called take position, right? And whenever they get a message take position, they go to a random position, right? So for example, in this case, right, when I go and when I click the flag, I go and click Giga. Notice both now, you notice Pico is also going to a random position. And that is happening because whenever I click Giga, a message is being generated called take position. Pico is also listening to that message, and when Pico receives that message, right? Pico receives take position, it goes to a random position, right? So now we have created a scenario where by controlling actions on Giga, by clicking Giga, I'm able to make Pico move, right? And this is in fact a very, very powerful use of broadcast, right? So broadcast, one very important use is when I want to control a sprite by something that's happening on another sprite, right? So in this case, I wanted to control Pico. Basically, I wanted to tell Pico, look, Pico, please go to a new position by clicking Giga, right? So now the only way I can do that, well, I mean, the most convenient way I can do that is if somehow Pico and Giga could talk, and that talk happens through broadcast. So Giga broadcasts a message called take position. Pico, like a radio, is listening for it, and Pico listens to it and says, "Oh, look, I got take position. I must go to a random position." So it says, "When I receive take position, go to random position," and this can just continue forever, right? Now, turns out that broadcast is a very, very, very powerful feature, right? We will see more uses of broadcast, but I also tried to crystallize where are all the uses for broadcast, right? So let's just see this. Uh, in fact, as I told you, you will use broadcast a lot in your programs as we go along, right? You'll find uses for it very often, right? However, there are three particular scenarios where broadcast becomes particularly useful, right? Almost indispensable. Number one is action on one sprite causes an effect on another sprite, right? For example, in our case, we had action being taken on Giga, which means click Giga to see the effect on Pico, right? Effect on Pico was moved to a random position, right? So how do a Giga and Pico talk? Broadcast, right? Multiple events lead to the same action, right? So it's possible that, for example, just now we showed that when Pico is clicked, sorry, when Giga is clicked, Pico goes to a new position. But it's also possible that something else causes Pico to go to a new position, Giga to go to a new position. In that case, we can broadcast this message to take position from that event as well, right? And that's very, very useful, right? We will see that later on. Third and very important usage as well is when we want to control how things happen, right? For example, I find a lot of students having a welcome message to their game, right? So they say, okay, look, welcome to my game, blah, blah, blah. These are the instructions. After 5 seconds, the game should start, right? So I see students say, wait 5 seconds. But sometimes it's clumsy because you have to keep track of how many seconds something is happening. If you have some dialogue in the beginning, you're keeping track of all that. Instead, what you can do is, you let the welcome message play. At the end of it, broadcast, right? So once you broadcast, it basically sends a message to everybody, look, we are starting. It's like, okay, good, ready, get set, go, right? Similarly, we can have a program starting when all the variables have been set, right? Likewise, we can have a situation where a program goes to a next level after a certain event, maybe because score goes over a certain point or time goes over a certain point and so on, right? So while broadcast is supremely useful, you will use it a lot, right? These are the three main scenarios which I wanted to remember. I showed you one. The remaining we will see as we go along and more examples we encounter, right? For now, remember, broadcast is a mechanism for sprites to talk to each other, to communicate with each other secretly, right? So they send a sprite can send out a broadcast message. However, broadcast is also like a telephone, never complete with just sending broadcast, right? Sending broadcast is saying, okay, look, I shouted, but nobody heard me, right? So somebody should also listen to it, and that you do by saying, when I receive a certain broadcast message, right? So then I say, okay, look, when I receive this broadcast message, then I basically have to take some action, and that's the action I take, right? So that completes the cycle of broadcast. Very, very useful, very powerful. We saw three scenarios where it is used. Many examples come your way, right? uh, that's all for now. Take care. Thank you very much. Bye bye.